Welcome to Tea with Marie. And I'm Marie Younkin-Waldman, your host. And we have a great show today, as you can see by the beautiful colors behind us and so on. So I'd like to introduce you to our guest today. Sitting right next to me is Alberto Gambarini, who is an artist, and his wife Elsa, who is a former professor and also Alberto's wife, right? So we're happy to have both of you here. And Alberto, you were born in Argentina, and you trained as a surgeon, and then you came to the U.S. for further specialization. And what did you specialize in here, and where did you practice?
Well, I finished at Buenos Aires my training in general surgery, and then I came to this country for a specialty in vascular and thoracic or chest surgery.
And then you were working in Connecticut, were you?
In the beginning, I was working in Providence.
In Providence?
In Providence as an intern, because I have to have the internship to apply for the training. And then I went to Philadelphia for the training in open heart surgery and vascular.
When that was just starting?
That was starting. It was the year 59, and when open heart surgery just started in this country. And but I was attracted for that. My idea was first to go to France and just stay here in the way to France. However, they offered me to a residency of full training in vascular surgery in Philadelphia. But the other reason is because I met Elsa.
Oh, that's a good reason.
In one of the hospitals. And so I decided to accept the 4 years of training in vascular surgery and thoracic surgery. And there was the 4 years that I stayed in Philadelphia.
And then you got married?
I got married. We have immediately a child come very quickly.
And were you studying at that time too, Elsa?
No, I was working as an occupational therapist. That was my first metamorphosis.
You had several, right?
Several, that's right. Yeah, and that's how we met in the hospital. I was going to a child's unit, and he popped into the elevator, and we started to talk, and found out we were from the same place.
That's right, because here you are, you're both from Argentina, but you met in the States, which is
in a
which is
hospital
nice
in
and a little bit unusual. When did you first develop an interest in art? Because here you were a surgeon, and where and with whom did you study these art fundamentals?
Yeah, Maria, I was interested in art since I was a child. I have a show when I was 10 years old.
When you were 3?
10.
Oh,
10 years old.
Sorry, I'm not hearing too well.
And
then
then
just a little bit ill.
And then I want to go to Paris for art, to learn
you've been
art.
Reading about it or something?
Yes, I was, I don't know, but it came to me the idea that I should be an artist.
Live in Montmartre.
So when I talked with my father told me that is very expensive. He was a tailor.
He was a tailor?
And I had to go to Paris to study art, and that was very expensive.
He probably thought that was frivolous.
And he told me medicine is cheaper.
Oh.
So go to medicine, and I went to medicine with my brother, because my brother became a doctor too.
How did he know you were going to be good as a doctor?
Because I like it.
Oh,
I like it
too.
Yeah, I like medicine.
Okay.
And during my years in the residency, and I started to do drawings. And when I came to this country, my English was very poor.
You hadn't studied English before you came?
No.
Yeah.
So one way was to talk to the patient and explain with drawing.
So you're going into a medical school training in America, not really knowing English that well?
Yes, the basic, the fundamentals.
You have to read the books and study the textbooks?
Yeah, but the medicine was, the language is very, very similar.
Oh.
But the big help was drawing. And when I was in the 4th year of residency in Philadelphia, a senior resident, you have to interview the family before the surgery and after the surgery. Usually the chief of surgery didn't interview the family. In those years, there was not too much of malpractice insurance problems in the early 60s. So the only way that I can explain very correctly to the family was withdrawing.
You didn't have a nurse or somebody there helping you. You had to give
No,
the...
but I have big piece of paper and I start to explain to the patient and to the family. And after surgery, I had to explain what was the procedure and what the possibility of complications and so on and so on.
And they liked that when you did that, right?
Yeah, and many patients used to say, may I have your drawing? And they keep those drawings.
Right. Is there a painting here that would be something similar to what you did then?
No, because
nothing with that topic.
was more simple, so the people can understand what the procedure was
Right.
done.
Huh. So then you studied art. So you had this interest in art since you were little, and you were doing these pictures and paintings for your patients. And then finally you decided that you were going to study art after you retired, I guess.
Before I retired, I went to the School of Art, Perez School of Art, to learn the fundamentals. But I believe the big impact on myself was one of the artists, Estelle Conniff, she was graduated from Yale, and she went to Chicago as a professor. And then she came back and opened a studio in Simsbury in Connecticut.
Connecticut?
And myself, a plastic surgeon, and another surgeon, we used to go to the night to do drawing and painting and everything.
Oh.
And finally, I was the only one there working with her. And so not only I learned the fundamentals in art, but he told me to break the rules.
Break the rules. Okay, maybe this is a
Break the
good time
rule.
to talk about the rules.
And that is why my idea of painting at the present time has to have something rational. It's really what you have to do is a balance of those 4 things.
Okay, we put the camera on the list over there.
The rational, for example, is what you call the fundamentals in art. You use the color, composition, line, space, ring, dominance, subordination, and the mood. And you get that with the movement of the painting, the study of color interactions, and however, at the same time, you use your intuition. Including you use intuitions that go against the rule, but that will give it to the painting your personality.
Oh, okay.
And then breaking rules. In art, in medicine, you can break the rule.
No, or somebody
When you
might
go
die.
to the belly of a patient, you are very rational, and you do the procedure that you are doing, thinking about and using your rational part. However, in art, you don't need to do that. You
So
can
this must have been like a release from where you
Of
had
course.
to follow the rules all the time, and you
it-
had this opportunity now to break them.
Right. With Estelle Conniff, because as a surgeon, I always try to be rational in everything. She used to get very upset.
Oh, really?
And she said to me, you don't put your feeling in the painting. So little by little, I start to follow those ideas about it.
So you were kind of changing yourself, I guess, too, as you were moving down this path,
Correct.
right?
It was tough. It was not easy.
To make that transition back
Right.
from
And to
a
start
rational person that's...
and to start to use color by feeling and not by a rational thing. And then the other part that I put is the breaking rules. Breaking rules in art is very important. That is the story of that all painting and all age usually break the rule.
Mm-hmm.
And there is the story of Dubuffet or Miro. One day, when he used to break the rule, he used to laugh.
He used to laugh.
Because he was having fun.
Yeah.
And they say one day one of the assistants was in the corridor and the window was open and the painter started to laugh. And the assistant said, do you know why he's laughing? Because he's breaking the rules. So in art is very important. And the last thing that I put over there, you had to use sometimes irrational thing to make a painting and put there in the
So
painting.
it's a combination.
It's a combination.
Yeah. And if you look around, if the camera, I hope the camera's on some of these paintings as we're talking, because the paintings are beautiful to look at. Where would, well, you probably broke the rules in all of these, I guess, but let's talk about one of them to start with, where you had a lot of fun doing it.
Well, I have fun in all of them, but I try, for example, the series that I am doing is a series of anatomical, and the other is surgical. For example, this is an anatomical.
This one here?
This is the heart, yes, these are the valves, the heart, the trachea. This is the chest. This part of the abdomen, the belly. And
okay, so this is along the lines of what you were talking about earlier.
Correct.
When you were talking about the
Right.
expression.
So these are anatomical,
These are anatomical.
abstractions.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, I am doing another series, which are operations that already nobody does that type of operation. Example, to put pinball balls
Mm-hmm.
in the chest to collapse the lung, to heal the tuberculosis lesion.
Mm-hmm.
You don't do any more of that. We used to, and when I arrived to Philadelphia in the 60s, they were doing a lot of this in the Rush Hospital.
Putting balls?
The idea was to collapse the lung that was affected by the disease,
Mm-hmm.
and that part of collapsed lung to heal. So, or they remove the ribs, collapse that part of the lung, or they put air, or they put ping pong balls, like in this.
Hmm.
And of course, was ping pong ball sterile. And here you can see the lung with the
Yeah.
lesion, the spinal cord,
Mm-hmm.
and the balls
Oh, yeah.
collapse in the lung and the cavity that start to heal. And this one,
How long did they leave the ping pong balls in there?
forever, till they get infected.
Wow.
And many times they get infected.
A
So
lot
you
of
had,
them?
You had to remove the ping pong ball and then remove the rib to keep the lung collapse. So today we don't do anything of this.
No.
We just some antibiotic, you cure the
Yeah.
tuberculosis.
You're talking about, this was before antibiotics or
This
around
was
the
in the
beginning?
50s.
The 50s.
The 50s.
So the antibiotics really didn't get into popular use until the late 50s, early 60s?
After the Second War,
Hmm.
they started to use in the war.
Mhm.
This painting, for example, is what they call removal part of the stomach, what they call gastrectomy.
Removing
And
part
we
of the
use
stomach?
part of the stomach. In those years, in the 40 and the 50, when the patient has an ulcer and bleed,
Mhm.
sometimes the only solution was to remove part of the stomach. Today, we don't do any more of that type of operation, because today, with an antibiotic,
Mm.
has been demonstrated that the ulcer of the stomach is produced by infection.
So is this a depiction of what you used to do when you had to remove
Correct.
the... Mhm.